so nice to talk to you again. I know we've talked before at the museum and at the boathouse,
Yes.
but I'm so glad to see you again and have a chance to ask you questions and
Okay.
So first of all, how did it feel to finally see your dad portrayed on film?
The first time I watched the movie, it felt very odd, and it was like, okay, that's not Dad up there. Why is he using that name? I guess I had a mindset, a documentary mindset instead of a movie mindset, and so it took a little while for my brain to process the fact that, you know, this is the way things are. And so last night when I watched the movie, it was fine. It was great. I didn't have any problem with it. It's inspiring to see. I mean, the story is inspiring, and to be able to have it visually there in front of you is it's an amazing thing to be able to sink yourself into that.
Yeah. I mean, I felt the same way. We know this story pretty well. I reread the book a couple months ago, and obviously there were some liberties taken, but it's still like such a great film that as a movie, you just have to separate it from the story, like the historical thing, and the story of the film. And I think that the movie did a good job translating that. That will will be enjoyable for audiences across the world that don't know the actual story, like the historical parts.
I have a feeling that it will also be inspirational for people who know the story too. It's an inspirational movie. It's in the end, it's a happy movie, and it's a movie that encourages teamwork and cooperation and higher goals than what we seem to have now. And even if you've read the book, and I hope you've all read the book, purchase the book and read the book. It still gives you the heart of what's in the book, what's in the story.
I feel like it captured the spirit. I read an interview that what Daniel James Brown was talking about was how it captured the spirit of the film, or of the story.
Yes.
Are there any? I know they had to cut a lot of things to create keep it in the feature length, right? Are there any details that you feel that are important to the story that you could share?
You mean as it stands in the movie right now?
Like that, since they didn't have time to keep it in.
Details that didn't make it into the movie. I guess I would say the prime thing is that I would like to have seen actually Dad's younger history. I feel like one of the things that made him such an incredible person was his ability to overcome the kind of throwaway attitude everybody sort of had toward his life as a child. And you don't come into the movie, I mean, you understand that he's poor, and you understand that, you know, like his parents really aren't in the picture, but you don't understand what he's actually had to go through and why he's in the condition he's in. So I would like to have seen even maybe just 5 minutes worth of, you know, lump sort of a thing that would introduce you to him as a character more firmly.
Yes, I kind of agree there. Yeah, I mean, growing up in the town, I feel like it would have been nice to see actual Sequim on the screen. But I mean, we did get 2 shout-outs, so that's good. But what do you think people should take from the film and the message that they should take?
Well, one of the messages is to have a goal and persevere toward that goal. One of the things that I don't know whether it was in the younger edition, but one of the things that Dad always said, it was kind of his mantra, was that the only time you don't find the four-leaf clover is when you stop looking. And if you think about that, that's a good life attitude, that you don't give up on what it is that you're trying to do. The other thing is, aside from personal goals and perseverance, the fact that anything works better with teamwork. And that if you are working, let's say you've got one person pulling something, two people can pull even more than twice as much as one person. It multiplies with some sort of factor, but it's having a team gives you a stronger situation. And we need, as a country, as a people, as, you know, we're working with our neighbors, whatever, we've kind of lost a lot of the importance of teamwork. And we need to get that back. We need to, well, like George Pocock was saying, you've got to like the people that you're working with. If you don't like them, you've got to learn to like them. So there you go.
Yes, thank you. I guess finally, did you ever think that this story would ever reach this many people and become like a film like this? Because like kind of with our TikTok, we really didn't think it would go anywhere. But
I knew that it was an important story. I knew that it had things that people needed to know, but no, I didn't know. I mean, Dan, one of the things that Dan and I were sort of terrified of was that people would not understand what the book was about, and it would get shoved off onto the sports shelves. And it was very strange. All of a sudden, you know, like setting up a pile of dominoes, and they just keep clicking down and clicking down and clicking down. And pretty soon, the whole structure you've set up just go like that. Because all of a sudden, you've got all these people, and they're talking to other people, and they're saying, "Oh my God, have you read this book?" I mean, I knew it was important, but it was just my dad, you know? Yeah. And so to have people, all of a sudden, the reviews start coming through in Amazon, and they're, oh my gosh, there's Joe Rantz as a hero. Well, he would never have wanted himself thought of as a hero. I mean, in fact, he probably wouldn't have wanted himself thought of in solitary at all. As far as he was concerned, it was the boat, you know. But there it was, and it just kept going.
Thank you so much for answering my question this time and for coming to Sequim. So, thank you.
So, Danika, you can stay if you'd like to. We're going to see if there are any questions from those of you that saw the movie. And if you have a question you'd like to ask Judy, that'd be great.
Hi, Judy. Helping with the Interact Club. You sort of just answered this, but what would your dad's reaction have been to all of this?
Well, there's two ways that can go. I think, in part, he would have been, I can't quite think of the word I want, but he would not have been enthusiastic about the amount of publicity, the amount of personal recognition that was coming. That would have, I think, bothered him. But the fact that there are the kinds of things happening from the book, like the whole TikTok situation and the Joe Rantz Homeless Youth Fund drive, and the drive to restore the old shell house, and we would get they were gonna drop out of school, and whatever the reason, they wound up reading the book and decided, well, if Joe can do that, maybe I can do this. Maybe I will stay in school and I'll fight for it. And I think those kinds of things, he would have felt the publicity was worth it to be able to see the outcomes that were happening from the effect of the book.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Anyone else?
It's been a while since I last read the book, so I don't remember all the details. It was a couple months ago. But did your dad actually make this little cardboard love letter to Joyce and gave it to her in 4th grade?
No. he didn't know her in 4th grade. He didn't meet her until they were in junior high, riding the school bus, where he brought the guitar and would sing in the back of the bus, and she came back to sing with him. And they were sort of inseparable for the rest of it. There was no separation of them either. Her family didn't move to Olympia. She was with him the whole time through high school, except that she was a year behind him. And then when he went to the university, he took a year to work after he graduated. So he was ready to go to the university with some amount of money, and Mom was ready to go to the university at the same time. And they spent their entire time at the university. They were already engaged. They got engaged in high school. So, does that answer the question?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, well, in closing, I'd like to say that we are so appreciative that you shared your time with us and your insights about your father and your own experience in having this written. Danika, I'd like to thank you again for interviewing and also for being a part of this special event and making it happen from the TikTok. And what I'll say to everyone here is you're about to have an experience. And it's a cinematic experience, but it's also a life experience. So I hope you find something from this movie today that inspires you and motivates you, because as you're hearing, Joe Rantz would want it that way. And you heard some important words in there: goals, perseverance, stick-to-itness, and also taking a chance on things that might seem out of your reach right now. We've proven right here in our small town that it's possible. So I can't wait for us to have this time. We're going to be heading out to buses. So what I'll need to ask you to do is kind of stay with the group which you're affiliated with, and we'll guide you to the buses that are out of the high school, and we'll see you there to get wristbands and concessions. Thank you, and thank you, Judy.